Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at a slightly challenging problem of recursion, and the title of this video is basically how am I going to draw how am I going to draw an English English ruler? How am I going to draw an English ruler using using recursion using recursion? Alright, so the problem is drawing an English ruler. And first thing, let's understand how a typical English ruler looks like. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you quickly what an English ruler looks like. So as an example, what I have here is a very typical representation of an English ruler. And what you see over here are basically this English ruler. Let's say it happens to be in inches, and so this is my 0 inch. That's my first inch over there, and that's my second inch over there. Okay, so these are my integer representation of my inches. And another interesting facet about this ruler is that for every major inch, I have something called the number of dashes that I need to render that that major inch over here. So, for example, inch 0 is major, inch 1 is major, inch 2 is major, because these are the actual representation of the integer representations of my inches here. And I need a total of 4 dashes. So this has a total of 4 dashes. 1 also has a total of 4 dashes, and 2 has a total of 4 dashes. So I can see that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got 4 dashes for 2, 4 for 1, and 4 for 0. Now, what's interesting is that as I go halfway between 0 and 1, as I go halfway between 0 and 1, and let's say over here, I have something, maybe that's point 0.5 inch. What happens is the number of dashes that I need to represent point 0.5 has reduced by 1. Meaning, if there are 4 dashes to represent 1, I now need only 3 dashes to represent point 0.5. But as I go halfway between point 0.5 and 0, as I go halfway between point 0.5 and 0, which is 0.25, then I need a total, the number of dashes that I need to represent 0.25 has reduced by 1. So if there were 3 dashes to represent 0.5, I'm now going to have 2 dashes to represent 0.25. And if I go halfway between 0 and 0.25, which is approximately 0.125, okay, so that's 0.125, then the number of dashes that I need to represent 0.125 will reduce by 1. So if there were 2 dashes to represent 0.25, I'm now going to have just 1 dash to represent 0.125. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the idea. What my question is write a function. Write a function. So what you're going to do is basically uh, uh, instead of saying write a function, let's say you're going to write some code. And when I say write some code, it could be a set of some helper methods, and maybe one big recursion method. And in conjunction, putting all your helper methods and all your code together, let's say this is a yellow piece over here, which is your code. And what you need to do is really simple. You're going to take in from the user 2 inputs. You're going to take from the user 2 inputs. You're going to take from the user the number of inches that he or she would like to render on their English ruler. So, for example, in this example over here, if the number of inches that I need, the final inch that I need on my English ruler, let's say that is the number 2, which is right there. So the user is going to pass in something which will be the final integer representation of the inch that needs to be rendered on the English ruler. And in addition to that, you're going to ask the user, give me the number of dashes that you would like that would represent that major inch. So, for example, in this picture over here, uh, the inch 2, the inch 1, the inch 0 have a total of 4 dashes. So you're going to pass in the second input as saying 4, which just basically means the number of dashes that are that you are going to use to render that specific inch. Okay, so these are two things you're going to take from the user. You're going to write some code which is in yellow over here, and finally you're going to spit out something which is going to be an actual drawing of the English ruler, which is going to look like this right there. Okay, so this is the problem formulation. This is what the problem is asking for, and what I would like to do now is on the next video, I would like to take this problem of rendering an English ruler, and we're going to combine some of the material that we have learned in week one, which is object oriented, and we're going to combine that idea with recursion to come up with a solution that would have this. All right, see you in the next video.